Sociology's Crime Against Humanity, the Diagnosis of Ignorance. In medicine and psychotherapy, there is an unshakable axiom: recovery is impossible without acknowledging the illness. When sociological services, amidst a brutal war, following a grueling winter, and in the heat of a profound socio-economic crisis, published data claiming that happy Ukrainians outnumber the unhappy 4-1, they commit an act that violates the fundamental principle of humanity: do no harm, primum non nocere. This approach is not merely a methodological error, it is an ethical crime against the mental and social health of a nation. Falsification of the Anamnesis. Publishing illusory happiness indices under conditions of objective catastrophe, hundreds of thousands dead, administrative pressure, loss of rights, is a deliberate distortion of the patient's medical history. When a society in a state of collective trauma and chronic stress is force-fed an image of a happy majority, it creates a gaslighting effect. An individual feeling exhaustion, despair, or alienation begins to doubt their own sane perception of reality. This destroys one's internal foundation and leads to even deeper depression. Blocking survival mechanisms. Pain is the body's signal of damage. Social pain is a signal of injustice and crisis. The publication of happiness ratings acts as a toxic analgesic that suppresses this signal. Instead of mobilizing resources to solve real problems, corruption, dictatorship, economic decline, these figures create an illusion of well-being. If the patient is happy, they don't need change. Thus, sociology pathologizes the status quo, denying society a chance at real therapy. The destruction of trust as a foundation for healing. Emerging from a deep crisis is only possible through radical honesty and trust between people and institutions. When sociological data contradicts a citizen's daily experience, cues, prices, losses, injustice, trust in science and the state evaporates entirely. This triggers total dissociation. Individuals withdraw into themselves, severing all attachments to the country to preserve what remains of their psyche. Sociology, which should stitch society together with self-knowledge, instead tears it apart with lies. Violation of medical ethics. Using sociology as a propaganda tool is a breach of professional ethics, akin to issuing a clean bill of health to a terminally ill patient. Exploiting spring exhaustion and the shock-induced numbness of the people to manipulate figures is a cynical exploitation of the patient's vulnerability. Instead of supporting resilience, such publications codify a distorted self-perception, forcing a nation to live within a simulacrum of happiness while the actual organism wastes away. Conclusion: happiness, in the context of a systemic catastrophe, is not a sign of health, it is a sign of shock or a dissociative disorder. To label this state a success is to deprive society of the right to truth and, consequently, the right to salvation. True humanity today lies not in painting smiles on the face of an exhausted country, but in the frank acknowledgement of the depth of the abyss in which we find ourselves.